Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another episode of The Collection Crib. I am your host, Tyler Cloud. Today, we're going to be looking at every single VHS tape I have of the Dragon Ball Z series. Now, this is when they were all released by Funimation. There's no Pioneer, no Ocean Dub, none of that. Just the classic Toonami-aired Dragon Ball Z that we all have come to know and love. Now, of course, being a very small table I can't put every single VHS on here, but I'm going to round off every single saga that was released by Funimation and kind of give a little, show every single VHS cover and just kind of show how cool they are and show the episodes that each tape have. Just kind of rambling them off real quick just because there's a lot of tapes to cover. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the Ginyu Saga. Now, I didn't watch the Ginyu Saga until recently, actually, because growing up, it was all about the Frieza Saga. Like, who cared about Ginyu? Like, Frieza's who we all wanted to see, because he was the big bad. But it's cool, because if you don't remember the original saga, the narrator is Ginyu. And that blew my mind, because I didn't connect the two. The narrator of Dragon Ball Z is the voice of Ginyu. But anyway, the first tape, respectfully enough, has Goku on the front, even though this episode is not in this tape. This is when he actually arrives on Namek, which doesn't happen in this tape. So we got Ginyu's assault, incredible force, and Frieza approaches. That's when I made the discovery. Oh snap! The narrator is Ginyu. And of course, the featured attraction about the VHSs were the box art on the sides. And of course, it makes Ginyu... I mean, come on. Growing up in the early 2000s, VHS is what you had. DVDs were a little expensive, but VHSs were slowly starting to fizzle out. But really, Dragon Ball Z was, like, to me, the beginning of the end of VHSs, because Blockbuster was still around, and I used to rent these all the time, and I used to actually see these at the Blockbuster, but I never rented these two. But time flies, things change, and now it's all about streaming. But I'll show you guys how to use these in today's world, but that's a little later down the road. But let's talk about now the Frieza box. Look at this box. I found this online for $20 4 years ago, I think. And yeah, that was money well spent. Every tape is perfect. It plays phenomenally, and the box is just... Look at that. I mean, sure, it's got a little wear and tear, but no big deal. Then you got Goku with Super Saiyan on the side, and Frieza in his final form 0% stage. I don't know how that goes, but... So let's look at the tapes here. And of course, they got all the tapes on the top there, all the cover art on the front. That's kind of cool, even though these two should be switched. That's a little weird. There we go. Old box from the 20 years ago. Barf. Getting old. But yeah, the Frieza Saga. We got Piccolo, Frieza, Super Saiyan Goku, and third form Frieza on the box cover. And that's pretty cool. I mean, kind of out of order, but I'll take it. So let's see. The first Frieza box, we've got Porunga, rising from the Dragon Balls. Waiting to grant the wishes to bring Piccolo to Namek. And the password is Porunga. Piccolo returns and the fusion. Now keep in mind, really quickly, these are all uncut tapes. And that means, like, nothing was cut. All the cussing, all the middle fingers, all the blood, all the, all the scenes they didn't add on the television show, they added on the tapes. Like, for instance, like, we'll go to the second Frieza tape, and here we have Piccolo and Frieza on the cover. And here we have Gohan attacks, uncut only. So it's like a little scene in this episode that was never shown on TV, which I think is kind of cool. But it is kind of gruesome. Krillin gets stabbed by Frieza, and Frieza stomps on Gohan. I mean, it's pretty brutal. I mean, for Frieza to hit the power level of 1 million, it's impressive and brutal. But my favorite tape in this bunch is, of course, this one. I spoke about the first Irwin toy set episode that Frieza third form is my favorite Frieza form, and I love this cover. Frieza powering up, and he just looks xenomorphic and badass. Vegeta convincing Krillin to blast him so he'll get powerful, and Dende about to suffer the demise from Frieza. Next tape, we got Vegeta going off with a bang, even though this tape is really out of order. This is when Vegeta's about to be teleported back to Earth when Namek's gonna blow up and stuff, so that's kind of weird. They should just put, like, when Vegeta's dying or something. But yeah, Goku shows up after being rejuvenated after the Ginyu battle, and that's when the battle between him and Frieza really starts. And this one's a pretty cool cover. Goku and Frieza battling it out in the nice blue background. Really nice background. And Frieza, look at that face. Ouch! Yeah, clash of the superpowers. Frieza's boost. And bold and fearless. That's right, Goku, you're bold and fearless. Stupid, but fearless. Frieza, desperation. Goku powering up the Spirit Bomb. Not much to say. Frieza and Goku continuing their long battle. And then, of course, Goku goes Super Saiyan. And that's when all hell breaks loose for Frieza. That's when the battle really starts to turn. And you got Frieza. Looks like he's about to attack Gohan. This is when, around the time Frieza starts the multiple episode 5-minute countdown for Namek's destruction. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another cover of Frieza and Goku. 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, this is the tape I rented a lot from Blockbuster. This is my favorite Frieza VHS memorable moments watching it and getting it from Blockbuster. But yeah, how many episodes did it take for Namek to blow up? And there's everybody looking at Shenron granting wishes, or excuse me, Poronga granting wishes. But yeah, 5 minutes. Frieza, you don't know how to count. But yeah, great set. I love these VHSs. And by the way, just to let you all know, all these tapes are great. There's no white molding in the film. Like, everything's perfect. Like, they were used. All these tapes that you're going to see on this episode were used. But as far as I know and have seen, every tape works. And for the most part, they all look presentable. And now I just need to get them in the box. There we go. Alright, so let's kind of speed things up a little bit. Now we got the Garlic Jr. box. Now this one was like $5 online. I was like, sold, why not? Nobody likes Garlic Jr. Let's just do it. But these are the best conditioned VHS boxes I have. The Garlic Jr. definitely looks fantastic in terms of detail. No tears, no no wear on the boxes. They all look great. Fantastic. And I'll have to give Garlic Jr. a watch. I'll be honest, I'm one of those on the bandwagon of who cares about Garlic Jr., but he deserves a watch. And we got the Spice Boys with Gohan releasing the Dark Water Mist. Really cool. Krillin getting kicked by Garlic Jr. himself. Alright, so now I'm going to bring in more tapes. Alright, so now we've got the VHSs that leads to the Cell Saga. And of course we've got the Trunks Saga to start. This is after when Goku started to make his approach to Earth. And of course, look at those tapes. We got Trunks in the time machine, Trunks as Super Saiyan, and of course the iconic cult episode of Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive. And of course, on the side, we've got Trunks base form staring at Frieza, getting ready to kill him. Let's take a look at the backs here. I remember when I was a kid, when I first really kind of started to get into Dragon Ball Z, I remember saying, like, why is Frieza here? Like, he was destroyed. We saw him. He got blown up. Like, why does he look good there? And then, of course, we just see it was just a dream sequence, and then he actually lands on Earth, and then Trunks appears. It's really interesting. And, of course, Goku shows up. Trunks tells Goku what's going to happen. The androids are going to show up, and Then we get everybody preparing, and Goku and Piccolo, for some reason, learning how to drive. And then of this VHS was the History of Trunks movie TV episode. This, of course, was Trunks' timeline when the androids took over, and Gohan and Trunks were all that remained. Everybody else died. And Trunks somehow survived and was able to go back to their timeline. And for better or worse, change history. And now we move on to what is my favorite saga, the Android Saga. This was fresh right out of when Frieza, died at what we thought. And when Namek blew up, and there was that hiatus for a while that, I didn't really pay attention to the Garlic Jr. Saga, but yeah, this was it for me. This was my favorite saga. Just the introduction of all the androids and just the story that was going to progress and what was to come. And we got Dr. Gero and Android 19. This is my favorite cover of the Android Saga. Just those two landing in that one island where they start their attack. And then, of course, we've got Android 19 and Super Saiyan Vegeta appears. We got Dr. Gero. Once again, an out of order episode. This is when he starts attacking the city. He does that in this tape, not in this one. But and we got the younger androids on the back there. It's pretty cool. Dr. Gero attacking Piccolo. And then this is when the 17 and 18 actually appear. And this was my favorite tape of the Android Saga, renting from Blockbuster. I used to watch this so many times. It was so iconic. Like Dr. Gero getting killed, just that iconic score of when he gets killed and when Trunks blows it up. There's so many great moments. And 18 and 17 and Vegeta having their iconic match. Oh man, Vegeta gets so humiliated. And of course, when Krillin gets that kiss from 18. This one's kind of the filler tape. This one kind of leads to, getting Goku to safety and then discovering what's in Ginger Town when Cell attacks. But then, of course, we've got that iconic shot of the two of them in the laboratory. It was on my medallion in that one episode of the Irwin Toy Collection. Oops, excuse me. But yeah, I love the Android Saga. And then we move on to the Imperfect Cell Saga. Menacing, brutal, and evil. Filled with so many cells from the greatest warriors all around the universe. I mean, look at him. Horror on green legs. This is, of course, when Cell shows up. Piccolo fuses with Kami. And I actually like that little top part there. All the forms of Cell. In case you want to see what Cell looks like in the future without waiting, here's what he looks like. Spoiler alert. And this was my favorite. I actually got this one on DVD when they were starting to really make it big on DVD. But yeah, this was the one I watched the most. When Cell and Piccolo had their matches, and that basement that was in the laboratory got destroyed by Krillin and Trunks, and there was a baby Cell. And technically, Krillin killed Cell. Trunks killed him twice when you think about it. Everybody killed Cell. Except Goku. Well, he tried, but he killed himself. And of course, here is Cell, another out of order episode cover. This is Cell giving the solar flare to all the Z Warriors that were around to discover him for the first time after Piccolo. This is pretty much the Time Chamber episodes. And I just like that cover. Nice and blue. Cell giving the solar flare up and blinds me. And of course, the semi-perfect Cell episode when he absorbs 17 and faces off against 16. This is a great episodes too. Great episodes in this tape too. So many great tapes. I mean, streaming, it's so easy, but there's just so much nostalgia and charm of just taking out a tape, putting it in the VHS, and just pressing play. The simpler days. And now we come to the Perfect Cell Saga. And of course, there is Cell looking charmingly menacing as ever. And of course, the one from previously was the Imperfect Cell with his Kamehameha. But this one is like, Oh, hello, I am Cell, and you will quote everything I say. Now, this is actually a controversial cover because if you see the Hunt for 18 DVD, you'll see that Krillin is on the cover. I wish they had another photo of that, but yeah, Krillin's on the cover. He has the control device that'll turn off 18, but you don't see that cover often. You see this one. And I don't know if this one's scary or if it's just, possessive or whatever, but to me, I thought this was a way cooler cover. I just thought like, oh, Cell got her. He's going to absorb her. But no, this was just kind of just a picture in Krillin's mind, but I think this cover is cooler than just Krillin, in a corner with the remote, personally. It's got Sacrifice, Saiyans Emerge, and Super Vegeta. Why couldn't you have just killed Cell right there, Vegeta? You egotistical bastard. There he is, the egotistical bastard himself. There's a cover on the other medallion. And this is when, there's the pose, a different pose, but you get the idea of Krillin coming up behind the mountains and blasting, or, zapping 18 all her life force so that Cell couldn't absorb her. But yeah, Super Vegeta, cocky, arrogant. And then this one, this is my favorite cover, next to the one with 18, but Cell becoming his perfect form after he absorbed 18. Oh, Krillin, how did he not die from this? My God, Cell just obliterated him. And of course, Vegeta realized that he is outmatched. And then Trunks stepped in to try to help out, but he is too bulky. And he is no match for Cell as well. They underestimated how powerful Cell was really going to become in his final form. Now, I have all of the Funimation tapes, but not the complete Cell Saga. These are the only 2 VHSs at this point that I have of the Cell Saga. And they only form just a little bit of Saiyan light there. But yeah, Goku and Gohan emerging from the time chamber, and a moment's peace is when Goku and Gohan just filler time. I'll try to find the other Cell Games tapes, but they're expensive. I mean, if you look them up, they're like maybe $30 a tape. Like each of these tapes individually was maybe like $5 or $6 a pop. But just to find the right tape, without damage on the cover or molding on the inside. If you can look there, you can kind of maybe see a little bit of dust forming, but I'm going to try not to let these tapes get ruined because I have Beanie and Cecil tapes from the 60s that are in such horrible condition. I used to watch them so much, and one thing you learn as you collect tapes is they're going to get old, and, they get old, they get ruined, and transferring them to DVD and streaming is not easy because YouTube and other streamers are the only way to watch them now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this part of my Collection Crib episode of my Dragon Ball Z Funimation tapes. This will be a 2-parter. I mean, just looking at all my tapes, this is going to take a while, so I figure I'll end it on this note. I thank you all for watching the first part of this episode, and I will see you all next time.